chronic. Left and right, that's how I come. Left and right, ooh yeah, ah boy.
That's right. Right back like I left something. It's your hostess with the mostest burning like toast is Cosmo. Hey, listen, they can't deal with Lord Cosmonian. I've been cooking all week. Just displaying the skill and the knowledge that the Creator has afforded me to bring His light back to this planet, you know what I mean, and share it with my folks. You know what I mean? They talk about the prophets, but they don't know all the sons of Haonga. Huh? Shout, Malachi Maccabee, Daryl Cosma, Selah Shalom, and yours truly, the four horsemen, man, the true sons of Haonga, bringing back this light here in the Americas today. And with not too much more to say on this topic, this is Jehovah Chronicles. This is Jehovah Chronicles number 176. We might be at 177. I think we did 176 yesterday. And if I think we at 177, but I could be wrong. But I'll check it. And or if anybody is online real quick and can just tap in and show what was the last show? Was it 176 or was it 175? I thought it was 176, but I could be wrong. You know what I mean? I could be wrong. Who we got up in this thing? You dig what I'm talking about before we get into anything real heavy? Just give a little shout out to the gang. You dig what I'm saying? Who we got up in here? Just Me. My brother Just Me up in here, man, the OG. Who else we got up in here? My sis, Stephanie Randall. She say bliss to all in the chat. Who else we got up in here? Johnny James. He said, I had my John Newborough experience in the 1970s. Now, see, Johnny James, you should have never opened your mouth. Now you got to come up here and tell us about your experience, bro. And you know Cosmo gonna bug the shit out your ass. Can you come on up here and tell us about your experience, bro? Because for real, man, there is, nothing that's not important. All your experiences, especially in your life, and I'm not just speaking to Johnny, I'm talking about in general, is all your experiences is how you learn. And then it's good to get that stuff out, because when you have a spiritual experience, right, you know it and nobody can change it. And even though it may be hard for you yourself even to back up and believe, and you had the experience, you are different after that time. It changes everything. I would even say down to your molecular and cellular structure. You got a little more light, a little more wonder, a little more beauty is allowed to be able to seep in. The comprehension jumps a little bit, because things that you thought were impossible to happen, you just watched happen. You dig what I'm talking about? So now Johnny James got to come on up, drop some game with his cousin. BC up in the house. Shout out my brother. He say peace and love, man. That's my guy, PC. Jaway, man. Hey, Florida, Geechee Gully boy. These Geechee Gully boys. You dig what I'm talking about? Shout out to the Florida Connect, man. You dig what I'm talking about? Who up in this thing? Oh, we got Selah Shalom up in here. Dig what I'm talking about? Shout out to my bro, Selah Shalom. I've always told y'all my Ima has always been better than your Ima. My OGs have always been better than your G's. Peace, love, and light to Mahalia Naturals. You dig what I'm talking about? Who we got up in this thing? Oh, my guy, Snoopy Eats. Shout out Snoopy Eats, man. He got a ASMR with that, those channels where they eat the stuff and you hear it and all that stuff. Y'all go support my dog Snoopy Eats, man. You say morning to the gang. I'll try to tune in later here and there. He said just headed out to an emergency dental appointment. Ooh, wait. That ain't no joke. Black Nino Macalini. What's going on, cuz? Say peace and blessings to all, man. Peace, blessings to you and your family, sir. Tone, the lonely one, man. Hey, man, this is my bro right here, man. I rock with Tone. You dig what I'm talking about? He called me, chop it up with me. Pick my brain just to hear what I got. He say, gotta get a broken tooth. Ooh, wee. Snoopy say, I gotta get a broken tooth yank. Ooh, that hurt. He say he woke up in excruciating pain. Still in pain? I trust me, I understand. Hey, listen. I'd rather get shot than have that damn tooth pain. That bad. Oh, listen. That will turn a grown man into a chump. He got up here, Johnny James up in this thing. What up, bro?
Hey, what's up with my dog, man? I'm at work right now, but I'm still got, I got kind of work at the same time. I don't normally do this. This is my first live ever. I don't normally come on no channels and then I just be in the comments supporting, the brothers who I know dropping that real knowledge. Like the four horsemen, starting off with C-Lot, then I ran into you, then Pam, then it just all fell in place, bro,
That's right. You was saying you said you had a JBN experience in the 1970s. Now, don't give us too much. I want you to come back and tell your story.
I'm about to jump. Okay. And I'm gonna also drop you my number too, Cal.
Okay.
Yeah. It's pretty much in the late 70s. Now I'm probably like 4 years old. I'm 50 now, bro. So pretty much, man, it was just thunder and storming. It was just pouring down rain and thunder. Boom. You know how loud thunder is. Man, next thing you know, man, this voice. I wasn't by myself. I was with my mom and my brother. This people I knew who, what, and when. Man, while I was pouring the thunder that night, this voice spoke to us over the thunder, man. I've been telling people this same story since I've been 8 years old. That this voice spoke to us over the thunder. It sounded like someone speaking over speaking through like 5 billion megaphones all the way to the top of the earth. With the kindest voice I ever heard in my life, bro, to this day. He said, you better be good. Yeah, he said, you better be good 3 times. It wasn't in a mean way, man. It was the kindest way you could say that. There's no different than you send your kids out to school or whatever. You tell them, hey, behave yourself when you get out there. You know what I mean?
Right.
So pretty much, I asked my mom who that was at the time. She was like, oh, that was God. She got scared running the house. But coming to the knowledge of it, man, God is not, not the ever-present creator. You know what I mean? So I knew it was something before that. I knew it was something beyond that. And I knew our creator wasn't no man, like they've been going and self-telling us that thing. What I experienced, I'm like, man, can't no man do that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So can't nobody do that. So y'all can't push that on me. It's just all these religions do, and the people do try to push what they believe on individuals growing up. And that can kind of sidetrack people, but I couldn't be sidetracked. I just know at least had a common good. You know what I mean? I'm not holier than now, and I'm no better than anybody. You know what I mean? I just try to do what's right. You know what I mean? And I ain't perfect in nothing. I'm not perfect in nothing, but I'm just glad I ran into your team within the last 2 years, and I was like, dang, let me get my arm around you. And then as you go to Book of Inspiration, chapter 5, verse 1 and 2, if you can pull that up, and that explains how the Creator speaks to you.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Hey, I don't want you to get too much away. I want you to come back, and I want to be able to build with you on this. So you did what I'm talking about. If you want to chop it up and for the lesson and just chill, or come back and build with me another time, because you got whatever going on in the background. I can hear you in some type of plant or something.
Yeah, I was at work, like I put in the comments. I didn't want to think I was running and that. But yeah, I was, that took a lot, man, to come out. Cause like I said, I don't be on these streams like that on videos or nothing. So I'm kind of like discreet. Cause I don't like dealing with these knuckleheads out here, man. My tolerance sometimes ain't you know, I don't like nobody giving y'all no hard times now. Y'all my family now.
Right. You did
There's some smart
but,
people out here.
But
Yeah,
Tone, you
what's that, bro?
gotta be in the right place. You gotta be in the right place with the right people to really perceive this higher life. You dig what I'm talking about? And everybody ain't ready for it. But over here on the Creator Gang channel with Cosmo and Calvin, you always got a platform, bro. You always
Man,
got
I
a platform.
appreciate you, cousin. Man, much love to you, bro. That's why I rock with you, man, and the rest of your crew, man. But, yeah, man, I appreciate y'all for accepting me for one. You know what I mean? When y'all ain't had to. And it take time out for me to tell y'all my story. You know what I mean? I told
Yeah,
Pam from Awakening to the Truth. Because Pam, I used to work with Pam for a little bit, you know, since her videos cut out. But she was like, yeah, Johnny, you got the same name as my dad. But it's spelled the same. Pam from Awakening to the Truth. So I've been, you know, just been supporting everybody that I know for the past few
that's
years
right.
when I ran into this knowledge. But this is what I was missing the whole time, bro.
Yeah,
So
man.
once,
Hey,
that's
look,
all
I
I'm
ain't gonna
saying.
lie.
Hey, real talk, bro.
I ain't gonna lie. I was too, bro. I was too. And but ain't it good to know that when you really out here looking and searching, the Creator don't never let you down. He walk you right into it. You don't even know
Man,
you
exactly, bro.
you don't
Exactly.
even know you going into the knowledge, and you just wake up and you be like, what the heck? You know,
Hey, man,
what's
I'm
going on?
overwhelmed, man. Right. I'm overwhelmed by this, man. And I enjoy this every time. I don't care if you read one line. I enjoy hearing any kind of reading coming from something that comes from the Creator's right. And you guys doing an excellent job. I appreciate you guys. You're the only guys on the planet that I can know, you know, that does this. And what I do personally, man, it's like individuals. I've been telling people personally on the side, but I've been buying books for people around my way. My homegirl called me last week. She's like, Johnny, this knowledge you got is all right. Hey, can you purchase extra for them books for my daughters? I'm like, okay, I can do that. But y'all pay me, you know, they pay me, but I still take care of them and getting people books and stuff. So. But yeah, man, my break is about I gotta get back to work, get busy, man. I have a break in a little bit. I just thought I'd share that a little bit. Man. I ain't wanna hold y'all beautiful people up, man. Y'all, hey man, appreciate y'all real talk.
Hey,
Every
I'm a
last one of y'all, man. Y'all keep up the good work, man. And I got y'all back out here, man.
Hey, I'm gonna hit you in the messenger and drop you my number and stuff, and we'll chat it up later and set up something where you come on and be real quick with me.
Real talk, bro. But hey, that's real experience, man. I put that on my mom. My mom passed away 20 years ago, but that's my real experience I experienced, man. And I don't know not one person in Omaha where I'm at, in Omaha, Nebraska, right down the
Oh,
street
you
from
in
Boyd Crawford.
Omaha?
Yes, sir, man. Born and raised, man.
Oh man,
So,
listen, man, you man, that place where you at is positively charged, bro.
right
It's
next to
something out
Iowa,
there.
too. Yeah. Yeah,
It's
it
something
is,
out
man. I'm
there,
trying to tell people, it is, man. Real talk. You know what you're talking about, my brother.
man. It's something out there,
Yes,
man.
sir.
You can feel it once you go that way.
Okay. Yep. Oh, yeah.
Okay?
But I'm going to get with y'all, man. They just told me to get off the phone, bro. So I'm
Okay,
at
bro.
work. You know, I got to deal with the plantation stuff, man. But I will, hey, if you don't messenger you,
I will. I'm gonna drop you my number in a minute. Give me a minute.
will
And
do,
stay
my brother.
tuned
Much
in, bro.
love.
This is
Peace.
gonna be a fire lesson. Stay tuned in. This is gonna be a fire lesson.
Will do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Peace, love, light, bro.
I don't know. I was going to send him a little bucks. Okay. Okay, bro.
All right, bro. That my dog
Yes,
Johnny
sir.
James, man. Salute to my dog for coming through, man. You dig what I'm talking about? Tone the Lonely. It's my guy, Elijah 7 up in here. The Cali Connect. Got the whirlwind pushing around this thing. You dig what I'm talking about? Dreadful Codmine, a.k.a. Nigga Thustra. Hey, that's Nigga Thustra. You dig what I'm talking about? I'm Nigga Demons. Shout out to the Cali Connect. Dreadful Cosby, man. You dig what I'm talking about? Intuitive, the GOAT. The GOAT. Hey, y'all go to Intuitive GOAT channel. Y'all sub, like, share, man. She be breaking down some real heavy stuff. You know what I mean? Especially if you got some sisters looking for some light. You dig what I'm saying? Y'all go over there, sub, like, share to the intuitive ghost. She say, love and light, family. You dig what I'm talking about? Who else we got up in here? I keep telling y'all, my Ima is better than your Ima. Shout out to Ahuba's Lifestyle. Y'all go over there, sub, like, share to her channel over there on the Creator Gang TV. Y'all go to Creator Gang TV on YouTube. Also go to creatorgang.com. creatorgang.com. You dig what I'm talking about? Get y'all some of them straight out of Cosmon t-shirts. You dig what I'm talking about? That's right. That's right. To the goat in the building. You dig what I'm talking about? Who else we got up in here? Who else we got up in here? You know what I mean? Who else we got up in here? My guy, Black and Lavender, man. Peace, love, and light, man. We're gonna get into it real quick. Shout out to everybody that came into the live stream, man, showing some love. Thank y'all for coming, man. Y'all could have been anywhere. You know what I mean? Y'all could have really been anywhere. But y'all rocking with me. Salute, and may the Creator light keep blessing you and your family, man. Hey, he say, hold on, just me say, is this Sister Pam, Johnny? Yes, yeah. Salute out there to everybody, man. Y'all hit that thumbs up button, man. Show some love. Share the live stream out on your social media platforms, man. Let's get right into this. This is Jehovah Chronicles number 1. Hold on, my dog said the last one was 176. So this is actually Jehovah Chronicles number 177. The worshipers of the Great Spirit in America. Yeah, now, see, the dope part about Owaski is when you get back into your Aboriginal history, we not just blanketing terms. Oh, they had a religion. Oh, they had spiritual practices. Well, what are they called? Right? What is the process? You know what I mean? What are their writings, their ancient, especially in America, knowing that we used anciently, before we had a syllabic script, we used a pictographic script. What does the pictographic script even mean? You dig what I'm talking about? We're going to get into that real quick. Shout out to the Seventh Era Faithists. Shout out to the Essenes of Cosmon. Shout out to the RFK, the UFK, all the folks, good folks in Inyakern. Shout out to our sister Candy. Shout out to all the Faithists in Brazil. All my brother Thomas, all the Garifuna in Belize, and all my brothers and sisters over there in Europe. Shout out to India. India is watching. Shout out to the great Vindu, the great Hindustan, the great Bharata. Shout out to y'all, man. And y'all will never guess who my second most greatest views come from other than America. India is third. Guess who is second? Russia. From the lands of the great Caillou, aka Confucius. Russia is checking in. Salute over there to Russia, man. Shout out to Putin and all them boys. You dig what I'm saying? Now, it is what it is. You dig what I'm saying? Real recognize real. Without further ado, let's get this going. This is shout out to the Seventh Era Faithists. This is the tablet and ceremonies of the Port Pan Algonquin from the original mound builders of North America. Mind you, this is 25,000+ years old. Right? In the Lost Book of Pan, my sister Susan B. Martinez also gives a date that this is roughly 35,000 years old. 35, not 25 like I'm saying. 35,000 years ago for the original mound builder Bible and the practice of the pork pond Algonquin, right? And we also have a system in America called the Anubis system, right? Leading credence that we gave the Anubian rights to Egypt. But without further ado, let's get into this real quick. Let's go. 177. You dig what I'm talking about? Jehovah Chronicles number 177. Worshippers of the Great Spirit in Guatama. For those who are aware, Guatama means the four tribes, right? And anciently is the cosmological name of the place we now call America, North, Central, and South. It is called Guatama, in the land after the great deluge, after the great flood, during the Ark of Noah, the time of Noah. The people who got on the boat, who went east, landed in Mesoamerica at a place called Guatemala. Sound familiar? From then they go to set up this Port Pond Algonquin, right? Let's get into it without further ado.
The tablet and ceremonies of Port Pan Algonquin belonged to the Ahin mound builders, who were the little people considered to be sacred. They were descendants of survivors of the sunken continent of Pan in the Pacific Ocean. Some of them travelled east in their boats and arrived on the west coast of Central America around 25,000 years ago. They named the land Guatama. Since its inhabitation, North Guatama, also known as the Turtle Island, was preserved against the establishment of God and Saviour worship. The great prophet Iowata.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? They called it Turtle Island. We're going to show you why they call it turtle or tori, right? It's anciently called tori. That's the oldest name of the land we now call the Americas, right? Remember, we just talking about North America, though, right now. But all of it is Guatama. North, Central, and South. There is no separation, right? But we just talking about the northern part. Notice they called it Turtle Island, right? Why? We'll get into it a little later. We'll get into the Tory science, right? And I'll show you why they call this place Turtle Island, because it is a science. A science. We had our own type of science up here. All right? We're gonna go a little further. And I want y'all to watch what she say. I'm gonna go back just a second real quick. She said that look at this continent in the Pacific. She said, look, ships are going this way. What if I told you these ships are called Ham, Shem, Yafet? Or this would be Yafet, right? This would be Yafet. This would be Shem. This would be Ham. What about the other brother? Notice they all go west. These guys go east. Anybody tell me what's right here in Mesoamerica? Is that not where Guatemala is, or the land, the La of Guatemala, the land of the four tribes, right here? Now watch. She's also going to say This place was purposely kept from God, Lord, God, Messiah worship, right? And the proof of that is, unlike the East, where they force religions on you through armies and wars and impressing this upon you. You dig what I'm talking about? In America, no God is impressed upon a people with a sword or enforced in any way. We one of the only countries in the world, and we were started that way from the very beginning. Watch this.
Years ago, they named the land Guatama. Since its inhabitation, North Guatama, also known as the Turtle Island, was preserved against the establishment of God and Saviour worship.
See?
The great prophet Iawata, also known as Hiawatha, gathered the tribes of North Guatama together some 6,000 years ago and established the Great Spirit, never again to be lost.
Did you see that? He got the tribe some 6,000 years ago. He created 40 mighty nations in North America. That should sound very familiar. Why? Because we are in a United States today. What I'm telling you is that the people who came over here and immigrated to this country and set up a government, right? They got it from the people. They got the inception of its style from the people who was already here. Remember, the United States government was crafted after the Iroquois Confederacy, right? They straight took it from the Iroquois Confederacy, wrote down their statutes, laws, and commandments, created the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution, all off the basis of what they were seeing from the Iroquois. But the question is, who did the Iroquois get it from? Even they are Johnny-come-latelys to this. Huh? We ain't talking about 1776 of the Common Era. We're talking 3953 BC, 6,000 years ago, y'all. What you call a state, right? You in New York, you in Georgia, you in Louisiana, you in Cali, you in Omaha, you in Nebraska. Those are nations. Just one of the 40 mighty nations found here, put together by the great prophet of America, Iwata, some 6,000 years ago, before anybody ever thought to build a government in the Americas. But what they didn't know, it was based off the great prophet of America. Now, one thing about OWASP that y'all know, that we readily tell you, we don't agree with everything. Now, one of the things we don't agree with is, because these came in black and white pictures, but the pictures, don't, hold on. The pictures don't actually give a proper look to what is described in the in OWASP. So this is the face of the great prophet in OWASP called Iwata. Now this is from my book, Faces of the Prophet, right? By the description, this is what we get of the great prophet of America, right? This is what they're showing, but the description in OWASP looks like this. This is what it sounds like. Dreaded, long hair, shiny skin, copper color, tall. This is Iwata. It's from my book, Faces of the Prophets. right? I ain't gonna keep doing this. I'm gonna let the dog out. I'm gonna let this go ahead and build for a minute, man. Let's go.
The tribes of North Guatama together some 6,000 years ago and established the Great Spirit, never again to be lost and eventually to be revealed to all the peoples of the earth. The sacred name of the Great Spirit, ALGONQUIN, was established by Iwata. It is from this sacred name that the Algonquin people received their name. The last remnants of the Ihins, the little people, became extinct more than 3,000 years ago. But the knowledge from this tablet was passed down to the worshippers of the Great Spirit through the Guataman prophets, the Ha'onga. This ceremony speaks.
Now, remember, I told you about the prophets of Ha'onga. They would be coming back today in the Cosmine era, right? Beginning in 1848. And there will be descendants of these Algonquin groups who would bring this light back, right? Have you ever seen anybody bring this information out? No. But there are 4 people today who bring this information out. Shout out to the 4 horsemen. You dig what I'm talking about? AKA the Turtle Gang, right? Sela Shalom, Malachi Maccabee, Daryl Cosmine Cad. You dig what I'm talking about? We the only people in the world bringing this information out. Owaspi says the people who would be bringing the voice of the Creator back are the remnants of the Algonquins. So what they're saying is the Negro of America is the original Indian of America. Proof of it is only 4 niggas bring this information out in the world.
Speaks of prophets flattening their heads.
And then they called us, notice they called us the sons of Ha'onga. Ha'onga is the prophetic line in the Americas. We'll go into that one day, though. Let's keep building.
This practice had been established in the previous age when men other than the sacred this
go back a little bit. Go back a little bit.
To be revealed to all the peoples of the earth. The sacred name of the Great Spirit, ALGONQUIN, was established by Iwata. It is from this sacred name that the Algonquin people received their name. The last remnants of the Ihins, the little people, became extinct more than 3,000 years ago. But the knowledge from this tablet was passed down to the worshippers of the Great Spirit through the Guataman prophets, the Ha'onga. This ceremony speaks of prophets flattening their heads. This practice had been established in the previous age when men other than the sacred little people could be made to see the spirit world. The little people didn't need to flatten their heads because they could already see the spirit world, the lowest of which was known by the name Hachadawa, which means the happy hunting ground. But evil spirits taught man to compress the forehead so that the consciousness would become located toward the top of the head.
For those who have been really studying, you know what I mean? You know that we got a whole tribe still today in the Americas as proof of what they're calling, right, of this process, right? Let me show y'all something. They are called They are called the Flatheads. These people are called the Flatheads. Of these groups, right? Still in America. Remember, we talking about America, right? Other Flathead groups. Some of the people are called the Salish, right? The Montana, right? Montana is a tribe. Salish is a tribe. They are of the Flatheads. Also, the Kootenai. The Kootenai tribes, right, are of the Flathead Reservation. Why are they talking about Flatheads here? Because literally there were people at one time that inspiration of flattening your head was applied to the people of the Americas from a false god. In the world, this false god is called Ahura. He's called Ahura. But to the indigenous American, they called him Atura. Now, look where these people are, right? Look where these people are. Montana, Lincoln, Nebraska. They even got a Flathead Lake. Did you know that? Did you know we had a Flathead Lake? Not only a tribe, showing that this process in America was extensive. Now we see, notice right here, they got the head flattening apparatus readily spoken to in the American history. You dig what I'm talking about? So let's get right back to it. So just a quick little insight. What they were doing was taking the thinking, reasoning centers of the brain, or the frontal lobes, right? And pushing them, see this right here? They were pushing this part of the reasoning centers of the brain back towards the top, towards the light receiving center of the brain, right? What they call your crown chakra. Yeah. Well, they were pushing the reasoning parts of the brain towards that. This is what head flattening and head binding was doing. And what they were doing was forcing suis, forcing clairvoyance on people, forcing clairaudience. This same technique is applied in Africa and the Middle East, and the resulting people who would be called what we call today autistic, right? Autistic, they're pushing their thinking parts of their brain towards the light receiving parts of their brain. In the area we now call Egypt, in the Middle East, in Northern Africa, the people who had their skull flattened are called jinn. Huh? Y'all thought they were some spooky ghost people or something. No, these were the people that the angels spoke through. Remember, they can see the angels as a result of this process, and the angels spoke to man through them. This is what the small pyramids were for. The jinn sat in there and taught men through the angels. Right? This is why the pyramids are dark. Y'all, they told y'all there was some spooky man ghosts over there in Arabia somewhere, and that's not actually what happened. They were real men who were tapped into the spirit realm, but tapped in by force, not naturally. Right? But one of the drawbacks to the head flattening process was that you created an imbecilic type person. For the most part, they would be what we would call today autistic or on the spectrum, right? But these would be some of the nicest people, and the proof of that is you ain't never met a mad or evil autistic person. They some of the nicest people in the world, right? You run into a Corky, they not, they're not mean to you at all, forcing the higher light or the ability to perceive the higher light unnaturally on people in Africa is called a jinn, right? In America, they are called the flatheads. Let's go back just a little bit. Notice the pictographic nature of what's being said. See, you see this picture, right? It's not just a picture. It denotes a whole meaning. We see this type of pictographic or what they call hieroglyphic, logographic writing all over the world. But the trick is to learn how to read it, right? Remember, I'm going to bring the Aboriginal nationality, culture, ethnicity, and heritage back. For those who catch on, right? Those who catch on, good. For those who don't, I pray that Jaja gives you the increase in time. You know what I mean? That you catch on and these seeds grow into your soul into mighty, mighty trees, right? But they are breaking down. I want to go back. They're breaking down the tablet of Port Algonquin, right? Found in Owaspy, but they're going to show you the tablet and then break down the meanings, right? So when you see these on written on the walls, written on tablets, in the Americas, you can now have the ability to break down or understand what's actually being said, right? We ain't just gonna tell you about it and then not teach you how to read it. What use would be to tell you about it if we're not showing you that there's people that know how to read this and you can do this too. This is your history. Nobody got none of this in Africa. And remember, the flattening, the flatheading, was from a false god. We never praise the God. So anytime we have any interactions with the God as the people of the Americas, it was a negative experience. Huh? True God never asked for praise. So who is the God in the Americas commanding it? You gonna get this history one way or the other. Jaja say that the man of North America is unlike any other in the world. As a matter of fact, there are no more like you anywhere. He said he put us here as a symbol, and we are the last true ALGONQUINS in the world, right? The ALGONQUINS are the copper-colored aboriginals to the world, the large copper-colored aboriginals to the world. Let's go. Now I want you to see this. This is the tablet of Port Algonquin, Port Pond Algonquin. I want y'all to see. Look at some of these, bluebirds, snake, the leaf. You know what I mean? Y'all seeing that? See this black hand? See the picture? See the mouth? You know what I mean? We're going to get into all this. See this black hand? Half a dog? A man's face? What does that mean? What are we going to get? We're going to get into that and start explaining to it. Pay close attention, y'all. Pay close attention.
Slain any living creature? No, Ungapa, but housed in a mound built high and steep. I have slept my nights away in peace.
Let me go back.
Slaying nothing.
Let me go back. Hold on.
Probably contributed more than 3,000 years ago.
Go back.
But the knowledge from this tablet was passed down to the worshippers of the Great Spirit through the Guatama prophets, the Ha'onga. This ceremony speaks of prophets flattening their heads. This practice had been established in the previous age when men other than...
Notice the sister got baby hair popping. She got the baby hair popping right here off the dreads. Baby hair with the dreads. These is locks. Pay attention.
The sacred little people could be made to see the spirit world. The little people didn't need to flatten their heads because they could already see the spirit world, the lowest of which was known.
These little people that she's talking about are called Ions, who you would commonly know as mound builders. These are the little people she's talking about. These are your mound builder stocks. Well, who are these large people? These are your Anguis. You dig what I'm talking about? Your Indians, your AKA Negroes of America. Let's go.
By the name Hochadawa, which means the happy hunting ground. But evil spirits taught man to compress the forehead so that the consciousness would become located toward the top of the head. This allowed the subject to see and hear the spirits of the dead. One problem with head flattening, however, was imbecility regarding the physical world, so Iawata outlawed it. But the practice of head compressing still continued for a season. With the coming of Iawata, the evil spirits fled from the earth. And so, two purposes of the Port Pan ceremony were to reorient the Flatheads to the Great Spirit, and for the Flatheads to identify themselves with the Aihin people. This tablet includes several symbols not explained in the ceremony, but the Book Awaspi contains information by which they can be interpreted. And so, the following rendition of Port Pan Algonquin ceremony includes additional interpretations of the symbols. Here follows the tablet and ceremony of Port Pan Algonquin.
Now, this is what I was trying to show y'all. I thought I was showing it, but I wasn't showing it. Here you go. Right? These are the pictographic writings of the Paleo-Americans or the Algonquins. Right? We're not just going to show you stuff without teaching you how to read it. What good would it be to show you it if you can't read it? This is a script, a logographic, pictographic script practiced by people all around the world, but especially those in America. Like I was telling y'all before, see this black hand up here? What does it mean? See this dog's head and this half a dog here? What does it mean? What does this black maw, this bird, this black bird mean? Right? See the finger? See the level? Right? The triangle? What does this mean? Right? Remember this picture? Look at this picture. Right? What does it mean? What does it mean for to show a full man's face? What does it mean? We're going to get into all that real quick. Let's go.
Which way, man? To the tree of knowledge. I go there also. Where, then, is your treasure? I bring this pitcher and pot, a tame goat, and a dead man's skull. I have no more. Cephas bows in your favor. Have you slain any living creature?
Did you see that? That's the sign of Cephas. Did you see that? You can go right in Awaspi and see that this is the sign of Cephas. Right?
Slain any living creature? No, Ungapa, but housed in a mound built high and steep. I have slept my nights away in peace, slaying nothing. Do you have a Hagasa from infancy?
The Hagasa, right? The Hagasa is the process of the head flattening. Right? So, in this ceremony, they're asking the person, have you been through the Hawagasa process or the head flattening process? Right? Watch what he say. Let's go back a little bit. Let's go.
I have slept my nights away in peace, slaying nothing. Do you have a Hagasa from infancy? On my breast stands the single sign, engraved, and most honored of all I have. When I was a child, my head was thus compressed. To school, the judgment down beneath the prophetic sight. I have seen the S-world and the angels of the dead.
So the Hagasta allows you to do what? To see the spirit world and the angels of the dead. This is a process used by a false god named Ahura to make his own prophets. See, he had to try to do this without the creator, right? And he figured out a way to allow people to see and hear spirits by flattening the skull, moving the reasoning centers towards the light perceiving centers, right? But what he did was move the people away from the Great Spirit, right? Now remember, these is part of these ceremonies are to get the flatheads back in line with the Great Spirit. But remember, this is only the flatheads. What about everybody else? We're going to keep going.
Hold up your hand and show me too the leaf sign of Algonquin. Then the burning flame of sacrifice. And monstrous serpents you would rather feed than destroy? I was well educated to engrave the sacred symbols in copper. Behold, I write. Your skill is excellent. Go to the southwest corner, and in the arc.
Did you see the geometry? Did you see the science? The technology, the engineering, the mathematics?
Behold, I write.
Huh? The level, the square, the compass, the triangle.
Your skill is excellent.
This is the understanding of how you build a pyramid down here. Let me see if I can turn that off that in the way. The understanding of how to build spiritual structures, pyramids, hidden right in sacred geometry. Look at this. Guess what this is? Let me show y'all something. I want to show y'all something real quick. Keep this shape, this square with the circle in your mind. Watch this. Let me show y'all something real quick. I want to get a good picture of it so you can see it. 1 second. That's an okay picture. I want a better one. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Remember that circle in the square, though. I want y'all to remember that. Circle in the square. Watch this. Here go a good picture of it. Right? Y'all be able to tell the circle in the square. Watch this. Boom. Y'all see this? Y'all see the circle in the square right over here to the right? This is the oldest documented city in the Americas, possibly in the world. I don't believe it's in the world. And I know for a fact this ain't the oldest city in America. But it's the oldest city known and proven, right, in the Americas. 500 to 600 years older, proven than Egypt. This is Coral Soupe. This is Coral Soupe. Are you seeing the square technology in the circle? The circle in the square? I'm telling you, this is ancient. Listen, look. This is ancient Algonquin technology. And you will see these into the structures, built right into the structures, because your culture is science. It is technology. It is engineering and mathematics. It is the culture. Look, they'll try to say you Masonic for this. But if Masonic mean that I build buildings and we're the first to do it, then you're correct.
Excellent. Go to the southwest corner, and in the ark of the black hand you shall find a charm for venomous serpents. Bring it here. Alas, O Onga, ask any service of me except to deal in charms against anything. How do your father, mother, wife, sons, and daughters sleep? On the mounds and in the mounds, O Onga.
Now, I'm going to just tell you like this. The ancient mound builders never lived on the mound. If you think they lived on the mound, you just a Johnny come lately with this information. The mound is a door. It is how you get in the city. The city is under the ground. Let that sink in a second. Let it marinate in your brain. Let it wash that cognitive dissonance out. The later Indians lived on the mounds. The later Indians, us, interred people into these places that were never used as sepulchres. They weren't used to place dead bodies in. Later Indians, thousands of years later, mind you, by the time Port Pan Algonquin is being set up circa 3953 BC, the mounds for the most part have been out of use 20,000 years. Let that sink in. We got a history so vast and so great in America. You dig what I'm talking about? When you tell people and show them, because I ain't saying nothing I can't show you. I just showed you the circle and the square. Built right into the structures. Right? You'll get people who they'll just laugh. Right? But that's because they're being convicted, because they're hearing something they never knew anything about. It exposes their cognitive dissonance. So for anybody who would snicker or turn their nose up to this, it just shows your low vibratory and spiritual rate. So giggle it up. It just shows you how dumb you are. Right? Because I'm not saying nothing I can't prove. This is something you didn't know. I'm just on a higher level. And now you feel in a certain way because Big Boss Dog, the cloud kicker himself, Cosmon, is now enlightening you niggas. Keep laughing. You're going to laugh yourself straight into a hell knot. Figure out what that is.
We are all hidden away from the devouring Hissa, Baog, and Mayu. How was it with your forefathers and foremothers? In the mounds and on the mounds, O Onga. For 1,000 generations, my ancestors did not kill any living creature ALGONQUIN had created.
All right. You know what I mean? For all the smart guys. He said for 1,000 generations. How long is 1,000 generations? I don't see no giggling. How long is 1,000 generations? Vicar Emerson. Okay. I just wanted to address you personally. You dig what I'm saying? Because you was over there laughing like a demon. How long is 1,000 generations, smart guy? Oh, now he don't know. Huh? Where you at? Why you ain't laughing? Why don't you laugh that answer into the chat, smart guy? Thank you, Malachi Maccabee. He don't know nothing. Right? Just sit back and learn. Let the teacher teach. Right? Right. You just got told it's 33,000 years. It's 33,000 years. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, boy. Look. I got the demon coming out. Negative. Prove it wrong. Smart guy. Hit the link. As a matter of fact, hit the link. And you show me how long a generation is. You're wrong. Now we're laughing at you, dummy. Generations are not numbered by the children are born. Wrong. You don't know how to tell time either. Watch this. What year is it? Since the creation of man. Victor Emerson, since you so smart, you got this. You didn't even know how long a generation is. You don't know how long and then the crazy part is they gave you the gang was nice enough to give you the answer, and you still can't extrapolate how long a generation is. Huh? You still can't extrapolate. Huh? You still can't extrapolate. You don't know how long it is. Just sit back and listen, little fella, and let the big boss dog teach you. You at my feet, or you can just leave. Either way, I don't care. You dig what I'm talking about? We over here gonna get this knowledge with or without you. You see, we don't never teach y'all to try to be gang. We ain't never asked none of y'all to try to be none of us. Notice that? We got this knowledge. Do you? Now we see you don't. Giggle at that.
In the mounds and on the mounds, O Onga. For 1,000 generations, my ancestors did not kill any living creature ALGONQUIN had created.
For 1,000 generations. He still don't know how long a generation is. He can't do simple math. Listen, missing generations. How was time started in America? I told you the answer. You don't know that. You don't know nothing about Haonga. They could at least count for the last 33,000 years. Do you have anything whatsoever that you can actually prove in America that comes from the American Indian that's 33,000 years old? You can't. This is why I'm teaching my people. You dig what I'm talking about? Just schooling. I'm teaching the enlightened and schooling the dumb. You just have to be the dumb vicar. You the vicar of Christ. Huh? You a Christian? You believe in Jesus? Huh? Did you know the real vicar who is called the Pope, who you're imitating? The real vicar kicked your Jeebus out of Rome in 1847 AD? Nah, you ain't know that. Go look it up. More shit I'm just teaching you.
What is that distant building in the northeast?
They love to be combative.
The temple of...
They love to be combative, but when you prove they don't know anything and that they're laughing, that their laugh was birthed in the darkest pits of ignorance. Huh? That's where that laugh comes from. Owaspi explains, when you hit people with the higher light and they start giggling, you just attack their demon, right? Their devil, their Satan that's in themselves. That feeling that the quote unquote vicar of Christ is going through right now is called cognitive dissonance. Don't be like this guy in the chat. Now he asking questions. Now you want to listen because I didn't prove to you your level is below everybody else's in the chat and definitely below mine. He still don't know how long a generation is, y'all. Let that sink in. We done gave him the equation and the answer. He can't tell you how long a generation is. I just had to address it for the simple fact of, we got a lot of chat room warriors in here. Now, instead of just asking the question, they giggle. So we know what and who is inspiring these people. It's Jujas. Yeah. We know exactly who sent you. Vicar of Christ.
ALGONQUINS. What does it mean? It is the sacred house of Dan. What are the signs? The All-Light Hand teaches mortals to ever reach upward. The cup, that all the firmament is filled by the presence of ALGONQUINS. What is the sign of half a dog, of half a horse, any man's head? That man at best is...
Hold on. Let's ask, see, since it's so funny, let's ask the vicar. Let's ask the vicar of Christ, right? OG himself, right? Let's see if you can help the people out with some of this Aboriginal American history. What does the sign of half a dog mean, sir? And hurry up and write it in my chat. I ain't going to be here all day with you. I ain't going to be here all day with you. What does the sign of a dog's head mean? Or half a dog? Or the full face of a man? What does it mean? Yeah, that's right. Only a fool thinks the truth is funny. Why you can't answer this question? Since it's so funny, Mr. Twitter Fingers. It does not mean it meant the tribe leaders. Sit your dumb ass down and listen. This is why I got to expose y'all, right? Because if y'all listen to Vicar, you're going to be lost. Let's actually figure out and find out what the head of a dog means. When you see this anciently scribed into a wall or into a rock or into a parchment, what does it mean? Vicar don't know. He said, look what he said it meant. The Vicar of Christ said it meant that tribe leaders. No, that don't even make sense. Here we go again. He's guessing some more. It's a crest of that person or ensign. Wrong. See, this is why you gotta check the people. You gotta check them, because these type of people will lead you astray, right? They are demons. You don't gotta believe it. He don't believe that he a demon. He don't believe he doing nothing wrong. He believed just telling that bold-faced lie and making it up is doing something good. That's why he's the Vicar of Christ. He's the author of confusion, and the author of confusion, he his boy. Right? Let's find out what this actually means, and let's not listen to dumb folks who just make stuff up. Here you go, Vicar.
What is the sign of half a dog, of half a horse, any man's head? That man at best is two beings, a beast and a spirit. What is
that? Man is at best two beings, a beast and a spirit. Ain't got nothing to do with a crest of a person or an ensign. Wrong. Guess what it don't mean? It don't mean that it meant the tribe leaders. Wrong. Are you ready to sit your goofy ass down somewhere and learn, little boy? See, I got to bark on y'all because my people is a stiff-necked people. But see, I understand you die from a lack of knowledge. So I'm going to give you the knowledge, whether you accept it or not. But I got to make an example out of you. I got to make an example out of you. Judah is fake. Ain't no Judah. Judah is from the white Jews, and it's how they wrote yourself into that Bible, right? And it's a cosmological, astrological assertment into the Bible. There is no Judah. Judah is the white man over there in Israel today. That's why he called him a Jew. You don't even know that there's a difference between an Israelite and a Jew. Just sit your ass back somewhere, little boy. Your knowledge does not surpass that false, fake Bible you touted. It doesn't surpass your false God that you're still under the God spell to. I'm just checking all hoes and hoe shit at the door.
The sign of the black hand. And the black hawk.
What is the black? You know what? I already proved my point. We just gonna get to teaching.
Hawk, the slaying tool. The mortal who slays the wolf and serpent has a hard time in heaven. What is the hard time of the slaying man in heaven? In the firmament of heaven he is haunted. The spirits of the slain come upon him. He finds no place. With his black hand of death uplifted, he cries out. What is the sign of Oki?
Black hand of death of Judah.
And the sign of the black head of the Gai. And the black mouth with black tongue projecting. That all the earth must be subdued by man. Even the blackness that issues out of man's mouth must be subdued.
Ah, that's you. That's
what
you.
Are the signs of the ear?
That's you, Vicar. That's you. Huh? That even the slander from men's mouths must be tamed. The black tongue, you seeing it right here, means slander. Exactly what you're doing right now. Giggle it up.
Even the blackness that issues out of man's mouth must be subdued. What are the signs of the ear? The triangle and the square, the evil quarters, the wedge, and the vessels of copper.
Ain't it funny? Ain't it funny? Huh? Ain't it funny how when you check them at the door, you know what I mean? He wanted my attention so bad. Now he got it. Right? No, the loudest do have the power. Right? That's why you in my chat, sitting at my feet, listening, little homie. Right? Because I speak loud because I know what I'm saying, unlike you. But now you got this attention. You don't want this attention. Signs, markings, crests ain't got nothing to do with what you talking about. You dig what I'm talking about now? Now I'm letting you live. You can come up here and hit this link as soon as I'm done teaching, little homie. You dig what I'm talking about? And you can come up here and espouse all that idiocy that you talking about, signs and markings and crap. Man, shut up. You're just ignorant. You dig what I'm talking about? Now, I'm not going to let him keep on, I'm not going to keep giving him no attention. But since you want it, son, all right, be out, nigga. Hey, that's what I'm saying. Leave, nigga. Ain't nobody asked you to come here no way. You dig what I'm talking about? This is only for those who want this life. We're not asking you or begging you to come here. You can go on about your way, brother. You better be cool. I got a bunch of wild ass Indians in my chat who will shoot you and just mute you. Nigga, get you up out of here. Right? I ain't telling you, and I told you, the Indians is just chilling. They letting you talk because they see I'm checking you. Right? This is how you do a hoe. You check a hoe. Right? What y'all didn't know is that many of these men's are hoes. Right? Goofy, indoctrinated niggas. Right? They don't like it when Cosmon talk to them like that. but it's objective by their actions. I'm not making this up. I just prove he don't know what the fuck he talking about, y'all. Let's keep going.
The maturity of man requires the knowledge of good and evil. Then he can discern the path of ascension. What are the signs of the trumpet, the windlass, the hewing axe, and the altar of fire? The trumpet calls man to useful labor, which he gives in service to the Great Spirit. What are the signs of the azaj and the basket? The faithful shall provide protection, food, and assistance to the helpless. What is the sign of the men ascending the Oru, and lamp, and the trees, and the black fish? First there was an egg, and then a fish, and then trees, then man, and he saw the light, and the sun. Then wisdom came, and he learned of ALGONQUIN ever after. You are wise, and now, by virtue of my power, wisdom, and love, I crown you brother of the Hoangam. Peace be with you. Amen. He who taught you all the other signs will now teach you 3 you do not know. After which the Oi will invest you with cloth and with the signs of Jehovih, so that when you travel into distant lands, you shall be received as a brother.
Now, for anybody who may have been thrown off by the people in the chat, I may apologize, but sometimes you must address these yapping ass little dogs who are nipping at your feet. Sometimes you must kick them. Or he gonna think he can bite you. Right? Remember, this is the Cosmon era. High physicality and high spirituality all at once. So trust me, I'll whoop you and then heal you when I'm done. Be calm. Let's get into this lesson real quick. All right, let me see. I'm gonna exit the full screen. Let me see if I can blow it up just a little bit for y'all. And we're gonna get right into the lesson. All right. See how that looks? Looks much better. Okay, here we go, y'all. This is Jehovah Chronicles number 177, Worshippers of the Great Spirit in Guatama. Right? You see different variations. I want y'all to know there's a tall people. Notice there's always a tall people and a little people. Notice there's a tall person and little people dance around the tree of life. Notice there's a tall person and little people. We'll get into that later. But let's go. Guatama, particularly North Guatama or North America, has been ordained from the very beginning of man's inhabitation of the earth to be the place where Yahweh's kingdom on earth would be established. Even though it has taken more than 72,000 years to reach the time when this would occur, those who will populate the Creator's kingdom will be spiritually prepared for living in harmony with his heavenly kingdoms. This is from Owaspi, Book of Septuagint, 11, 3 through 12. And what? Tori. And Tori was, or your tortoise, your turtle, right, was the land that the angels later called North Guatama or North America. Signifying, what does it signify? Right? The meeting of the nations in the dawn of Cosma. Right? Let me show y'all what Tori is. Right? Hold on one second. Hold on. Let me knock that out. 1 second. Right? Let me show you. Okay, let me show y'all this one. Where is the one I'm looking? Here it goes. Let me show you the representation of what they're talking about when they call this place Turtle Island. Turtle Island, my friends, is a science, or Tori, right? The understanding of the turtle is a science. It is how you tell time using the moon. This is a representation of the lunar cycle, not the solar cycle, the lunar cycle, right? I want to show y'all. Look, I'll blow it up. Let me see. We can go back. I can blow it up just a little bit. Let me see. Okay, I got to do it this way. Right? I want to show y'all something. This is why they call America Turtle Island. Right? The ancient, what they just called it. This is the very first name of the land, Tori. Y'all see that? Tori is where you get your understanding of tortoise, turtle, all this from. But let me show you how it's reckoned. Right? Watch this. In the center of a turtle's back is 13 sections, always represented as the months. Even in the Bible, the false god of the Bible tells you that he created the sun and the moon for times, seasons, holy days, months, right? And basically how to tell time. But the insufficient God of the biblical narrative, the author of confusion himself, told you that there is a way how to count and using the moon, sun, and stars as a calendar, but he didn't turn around and teach you how to do that. Now that's up to Lord Cosmon himself. I want y'all to notice this. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 sections. There are 52 weeks in a year. A month has 4 weeks. 4 divided by 52, or 52 divided by 4 is 13. Not 12 months in a year. There are 13 months in a year. And if you count these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then, okay, here you go right here. I didn't count these two. It's 28 sections right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 28 sections around. Now, if you cut a month into 28 days, 28 lunar days each month, right? Each 4 weeks, it leads you to 13 months. This is why they call this place the Great Turtle Island, because of the science of the people of the moon. Right? 28 sections around the outside, 13 in the middle. This is on every turtle. Everyone except the leatherback and the loggerheads, every one of them has 13 middle sections, 28 sections on the outside. Right? Hold on 1 second. Let me get up out of here. All right, let me show you that this is well known to the Americans, right? Well known, right? Conveniently, if we examine a turtle shell, now mind you, right? This is the lunar calendar on a turtle's back. This is from the teachings of the First Nations, including those of the Anishinaabe and the Haudenosaunee. Does anybody know who the Haudenosaunee is? These are the Iroquois, who call themselves Algonquins, even to this day. For those who know, they know who the Algonquins of America are. Conveniently, if we examine a turtle shell, we find that the same pattern of numbers of lunar months in a year and days in a lunar month. Didn't I just explain this to you? 13 in the middle section, 28 on the outside shell of the lunar cycle. Well known in Aboriginal history. Key. Right? That's how you do it. This is how you shut them down. I shut them down. Shut them down. Stupid. This is how you shut them down, bro. They don't know that this is already known. You just an African. You dig what I'm talking about? You a booty scratcher. You was a slave over here. And we probably enslaved you. You dig what I'm talking about? My ancestors enslaved the shit out your ancestors. This is why you don't know this, because you ain't an Indian. So let's go back. Share this tab. Can you hear now? Just me. Hey, give me a kiss. Give me a kiss before you go. I was gonna miss you today. You gonna have fun? Yeah. Okay, I see you later, buddy. I love you. All right, be safe. Can you hear me? Y'all can hear it? All right, let's get back to it. And Tori was the land that the angels of North Guatama of America, signifying the meeting of the nations and the dawn of Cosmos. God, who was Septantes at the time in the first arc cycle, came down out of the ship and stood on the land. This is the eastern coast of America. I believe where he is standing. I have no proof of this, but where I believe he is standing is now what we call South Carolina. Right? Why? Because of what he goes on to do. Watch. God Septantes came down out of the ship and stood on the land. He's on the eastern coast of America. And a light of Ethereal flame descended upon him. And the Creator spoke out of the light, saying, "Hear me, O my son." Now notice, Yahweh, or God, Septantes, is the son of the Great Spirit. God is not the Great Spirit. He is the son of the Great Spirit. Hear me, O my son. I have brought you here to this land, which is the last of the... Shut up. Which is the last of the circle, even as Waga is the first. Behold, when the earth is circumscribed with those who choose me, the Great Spirit, I will come here with a great awakening light to the souls of men. On this land, on a North America, I will finish the dominion of lords and gods. Vicar, your God is done. This is why you can't get nobody. The Hebrew Israelites movement dying. Christian movement dying. You can't pay these kids to go to church. Islamic movement dying. And because of the death throes of the false gods, you see the wars being brought about on the planet. The wars and assertions of wars, right? Because you're dying, right? Your whole ideology is being proven false by the Great Spirit here in America. That's why you can't even get your kids to go to church. You got to make them. You dig what I'm talking about? Threaten them. You know, they won't do it on their own because they know it's false. They know your Jewish, so-called Hebrew Israelitish indoctrination is false. The babies know. How do we know? Because the Creator said he will finish the dominion of the gods and the lords on earth, even as it begun in Waga or Pan. Through you and your lords, I will now lay the foundation of my kingdoms. On this land, I will raise up a people who shall be the fulfilling of that which the ions of Waga profess. That's me and you, the faithful stocks of America, the aboriginals of America, the Indians of America, now misnomered as Negroes, blacks, and African Americans. For my chosen, how do you become chosen? How you become chosen, y'all? To be the chosen, you must choose Creator. To be the chosen, you must choose Creator. Right? So if you ain't chose the Creator, you ain't chosen. So stop with that fake, all that Israelite is, oh, we this and this holy people. You ain't nothing holy about you. Till you get shot, there's nothing holy about you. Because on this land, I will raise up these copper-colored beautiful, symmetric people with long black nigger hair, who shall be the fulfilling of the irons of what the irons of Waga profess. For my chosen shall come out boldly against all dominions except mine, the creators. Ain't that true? Even today we say no gods, no lords, no saviors. Look over this land, my son, and provide for the time of Cosmon. Time of Cosmon is now. Mind you, we're talking about a time 73,000 years ago, where the God is standing on the land, on the eastern coast, looking west. Watch this. My prophets will foretell you what shall happen, and afterwards you shall look upon the mountains and the strong standing rocks, and the thought of your soul will pierce them, and its impression will be as a written book before the races of men in that day. What day? Today. Huh? Nor will they know the cause, but they shall come forth in tens of thousands for the Creator's sake, putting away all gods, lords, and ancient tyranny like Bible, like Buddhism, like Brahmanism, ancient tyranny like Quran. Your soul shall be my talisman, deeply engraved in the land, water, and mountains. Land and water, ain't that law? On this land alone, no Lord or God shall be established by the sword. Don't the Christians wish they could impress you just like they did during the Reconquista? Don't the Hebrew Israelites wish that their trappings worked on the corners? Don't they wish that they could impress their Lord and God upon you? It ain't work. And as you see it, they're all disbanding. But what you're going to see is the Israelites are coming over here. I didn't say Jews and the tribes of Judah. I didn't say nothing about y'all. If you come, great. But if you don't, it's just par for the plan, par for the course. Right? The real Israelites listen. They hear the voice of the Creator. Those of the tribe of Judah do not. They still praise the gods and the lords. See, in America, we never praise the God or a Lord. Big difference. Showing y'all that, all these people that y'all not like us, and that y'all pray a freaky little 69 God. Right? It's not my fault your God fake. The host of both the ships came and joined in Gleason reunion after 100 years' absence. Then they traveled over the land and waters of the great western continent. And all the places that the Lord had searched out, to the east and to the west, to the north and the south, i.e. in all directions, even to the farthest boundary, were revealed and recorded in the books of heaven. And God, Sethantes, a one-time living, breathing man, said, and you, my Lord, talking to Tori, shall mark out the place of the dominion of the Creator in the founding of his kingdom on earth. And the record of your labors shall descend through the lords and gods that come after you, even down to the time of the Cosmon era and the coming of the light in the Cosmon era, which is now, right? Cosmon era started 1848, y'all. We're in the 176th year past that, or 2024. And the people who shall dwell here till that day shall listen. And the people who are in the Americas shall dwell here till that day, shall never be worshipers of any Lord or God, such as other people, such as the tribes of Judah, Reuben, Simeon, Issachar. They praise a God. That's because y'all some immigrants. Y'all never was praisers of the Great Spirit. Never. What you need to understand is the tribes, the 12 tribes, are not Israelites. The Jews and the Israelites are different people. As a matter of fact, a Jew did everything opposite of what a real Israelite did. For instance, real Israelites never lived in a kingdom, but the Jews did. Real Israelites never had a king, but you tribes of Judah did. Real Israelites never went to war. Not only did you tribes of Judah, you Jews, you usurpers of Israelite history, not only did you go to war, but you killed your own people. You are not an Israelite. This is how we can tell. The real Israelites never praised a God or a Lord. Guess what? You praise one then and you still a sucker today. You're not the people. Right? The true Israelites were scattered all across the world. Y'all had colonies. Y'all pretty much saturated the Middle East and Africa. Y'all was in one place. Huh? How about this? Real Israelites walked west out of Egypt. Moses and them went west out of Egypt across northern Africa. So who is y'all niggas doing the opposite in the Middle East? Who are y'all that went east? When Moses and the real Israelites went west. I told y'all not them people. So if you're using the Bible to try to tie into some heritage of the Israelites, remember the Bible doesn't show Israelites. It shows the usurpers, or how to tell if you are a usurper of true Israelite history. But let my seal be upon this land, America, in the name of Yahweh, the Creator, and to him I consecrated it forever. Thus, the beginning of the end of mortals worshiping gods and lords is to start in North America. You seeing it today. Even as on the land of on the continent of Pan, the worship of the Lord and God was begun. This verse does not mean the end of Yahweh's gods and lords, but the false lords of the Bible, the Quran, Brahmanism, and Buddhism. Those are the four false beasts. Those are the heads of the four false beasts spoken about even in their own revelation. Now look, all the Algonquin tribes worship the Great Spirit only. Y'all learning this or y'all see this, hit me with a 1 in the chat. That all the Algonquin tribes worship the Great Spirit only. Hit me with a 1 in the chat. If you realize that now, if you realize why you're here, why you were able to come up out of the God spell, why you were able to shake the Bible, why you was able to get Allah off your back, why you shook Shinto, why you shook Brahmanism, why you shook Buddha, Why you shook all the fake NOI gods? Huh? Because you have been here and your soul has never praised the God. Your Algonquin ancestors never, ever, ever praised the God. Just the Great Spirit only. This is why Owaspy sits well with you. This is why you were able to understand. You knew as a child something was not right with that Bible. You knew this as a child before you ever even talked to Cosmon, before you knew anything about Owaspy. You knew something was wrong. If you knew that, if you know that I'm telling you the truth, hit me with a 2 in the chat. How many of y'all knew that something was wrong even as a child? This is your ancestors coming back to tell you, no, baby, you've never worshiped a God. You've only worshiped the Great Spirit. Look at all these tools coming in. You knew something was wrong with it. It's no coincidence. He said he's coming to this day to strip you of all false gods. And there should be, once again, only worship of the Great Spirit, especially with the Aboriginals of America, my copper-colored people. Huh? See this? Y'all see? We've been knowing as a kid. How many of us have this same experience? Most of us. You were asking questions that the adults couldn't answer, and you got a whooping. Because just like Vicar started laughing from being exposed for that cognitive dissonance, you asked your parents, you asked the pastor, you asked the adults who's supposed to be looking over you, looking out for you spiritually, helping you. You dig what I'm talking about? You asked them questions and they got upset. Why? It's the same thing as the laugh. It is birthed in the deepest, darkest pits of ignorance and cognitive dissonance. They don't know why. They God tell them don't use their own judgment. They're just sheep. It still look a little small. Let me see if I can blow it up even a little more. The Algonquin tribes worship the Great Spirit Yahweh only. It was characteristic of them to never accept any God or Lord. And the American race coming after them, you, me, the faithists, creator gang, peace to the righteous gods and Nirvanian goddesses, coming after them are fast. Huh? Y'all been seeing the gang grow? Gang wasn't as deep as we was a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Gang way deeper now. People are being called to that light. Why? Because your ancestors never worshiped never worshiped a God, only the Great Spirit. And you are fast rising to the same exalted conception of the Great Spirit as your ancestors. So, if the land of North Guatama was ordained to be the beginning of Yahweh's kingdom on earth, what then of the inhabitants of the land? How would they reflect this? And what would be their role? What would their role be, if any, in preparation for Yahweh's kingdom here on earth? The ancient indigenous inhabitants of North America, variously called Native Americans, First Nations, Amerindians, and Guatamans, have often been given short shrift by man's governments since the discovery of the Americas by the Europeans. Such governments have often treated them as inferior and insignificant, which is unfortunate because native Guatamians, Native Americans, Native North Americans have characteristics that demonstrate that they do indeed have an important part to play in the foundation of Jehovah's kingdom. Well, just to wrap it up in a nutshell, right? Right. The God of today, by the way, which is a goddess, not a male, it's a goddess. Shout out to say Sivi and Thotha says she's coming to build a new race of people. She ain't coming here to tell you what's right and wrong, you know, save sinners and all that stuff. She said, you already know all that stuff. Say yourself. She said she coming to build a new race. What you didn't know is that the so-called nigger of America is really the Indian of America and is the major catalyst for raising up a higher new people in the Americas. Is you. That's the key. That's what Owaspy is telling you. First and foremost, for the most part, they have been worshipers of the Great Spirit for many thousands of years. When they came over here with the indoctrination, right? It sound good. It almost sounds just like, you know, you can't blame grandma because she was so pie in the sky. You can't blame her for it. Like Pac said, we was given this world. We didn't make it. Just know that you and your ancestors have been worshipers of the Great Spirit for many thousands of years. Their culture, although close to the earth, is imbued and powered by spirit and acknowledged to be of the Great Spirit. Sound like gang? Sound like anybody you know? Their social and tribal ways value freedom and the individual as an integral part of family and community. What did they attack when they came to tear down and disenfranchise the black man through what is called Jim Crow or Reconstruction? Or what did they tear down first? When they went for the Indian Civil Rights Act, which y'all understand is civil rights, was really called the American Indian Civil Rights Act. They know who we are. Right? What was the first thing they attacked? They attacked the family structure. Tearing the father away from the homes. If you even do, how many of y'all, if y'all old enough to remember this, right? Do you remember if your mama was on welfare or she got SNAP or anything like that, Focus Hope, if she was on welfare, do you remember there was a time that your daddy couldn't be caught in the house? Y'all remember that? When your daddy had to, you ever seen the daddy and your uncles and all them had to hide around and, you know, dip off in the closet when the CPS people came by, the DHS people? Do y'all remember that time? If y'all remember that, hit me with a 3 in the chat. Right? When daddy used to have to hide when the DHS people came on, they was literally tearing our homes apart on purpose. Right? Why? Because our social and tribal ways value freedom and the individual as an integral part of family and community. This is where our power comes from. So they attack this first. Did y'all know that during most of what we call the Great Depression, right? And you know, the Great Dust Bowls and all that stuff that was going on in the 1930s and all that we didn't even know, We didn't know that there was a depression. We fed ourselves right out our backyards. We had our own pigs and cows and whatever. You dig what I'm talking about? We had our own massive plants. We went out and we had trees. We ate right off the trees. We ate right out the ground. We didn't know that there was a food shortage. Why? Because we didn't need nobody else. Huh? I see 1-3. You dig what I'm talking about? I see 1-3. But they used to, your daddy couldn't be in the home with your mom. And if he got caught there, you dig what I'm saying? They kicked your mama off of Section 8 and food stamps. Stephanie Randall know what I'm talking about. Iman know what I'm talking about. You dig what I'm talking about? If you grew up in the hood, Sister Belinda know what I'm talking about. If you grew up in the hood, you didn't seen this. You old enough to remember this? 70s, 80s, early 90s. We used to watch them hide. They attacked our families. Which was also evident in the quality of their fathers and chiefs, among whom were no tyrants or dictators. We were never tyrants. We were never dictators. And we produced the best of men. The best of chiefs. The best of sachems. Their nurturing, listen, their nurturing and raising of children with the ability to absorb orphans and lost children into their families and tribes preview the enlightened upbringing of the children in the Creator's kingdom on earth. Proof that this is our nationality and culture right here is that I don't care what none of y'all say. Your mama has never let a child come in her house hungry and she didn't feed it. Your mama, your grandmama ain't never let a baby leave her house hungry. How many of y'all, just like me, grew up with 5, 6, 7 brothers that wasn't our kin, but your mama took them in and raised them up like they was hers? Huh? Shout out Angie, and you dig what I'm talking about? Shout out my little brothers and all them. Everybody who got took in by my mama. Raised up with us. How I know this happened in your house too. How I know your mama is a good person too is because your mama is my mama. Your mama ain't never let a baby starve. Never. The Union of Nations, established by Iwata, the great prophet of America, is still evident in the Iroquois Confederacy at the time of European colonization. Iwata provided a model for the United States Constitution, not the Iroquois. The Algonquins gave it to the Iroquois, who turned around and sold you out and gave it to the colonizer. This is why they're wearing their shame on their faces. Remember, they used to have pretty brown skin just like you. What happened? We call it sellout. They wear their sellout nature on their faces. Remember, they was just as brown as you was just a couple hundred years ago. The great Algonquin prophet provided a model for the United States Constitution, Ben Franklin citing it as an example to be modeled upon. Regarding this last point, Owaspy reveals that the model of the Great Spirit culture, including the Great Confederation of Peace of the Guatamans. Y'all go look at my build on the Ahuans, the great megalithic builders of America. This is a nigger stock. Remember, the Ahuans are copper color brown, right? The Ahuan Guatamans, Americans, would come through the great spirit or the great spirits of the Guatamians, the ancient Indians, proof of which is witnessed today in the international admiration and adoption of the best of the Guatamian culture among seekers of peace, truth, and harmony with all life. Owaspi, First Book of God, 27, 47 through 49. And the Creator saw the great work of Iwata, saw the people gathered together in tens of thousands of places. Then the Creator spoke to Iwata, saying, look, you shall found 40 mighty nations. Huh? These 40 mighty nations are called today states, y'all. Ever wonder how your state got that Indian name? Or did you know that your state had an Indian name that was later changed into something else? What is Omaha? What is Michigan? What is Illinois? A mighty nation. But mind you, this is taking place 3953 BC. 6,000 years or 5,800 years before the Cosmine era, 6,000 years from today. You shall found 40 mighty nations, O my son, and every nation shall listen. I'm going to put it to you like this. You shall find 40 mighty states, O my son, and every state shall be an independent nation. But all the states shall be united into a brotherhood of nations. So this is the founding of the nation of what we know today is America. Huh? Just like today that we got mighty states all together in one union, right? One unity. The United States. You thought white folks did this. No, a nigga did this 6,000 years ago. And then gave it to some other niggas who turned around and gave it to the white folks. But all the nations shall be united into a brotherhood of nations. It sounds just like the U.S. As one mighty people. Huh? And that one shall be called Opa ALGONQUINS, signifying one. Huh? For when I come in Cosmine, when I come in 1848, my people shall have many states like yours. Iwata, he talked, this is a prophecy he given to Iwata 6,000 years ago. He telling you, nigga, in 6,000 years, just like you setting up these states and these nations right now, my people gonna have states and nations then. You think I'm making this up? How would a white boy from Ohio know this? He wouldn't. This is why he told you he didn't know it. That he didn't write it. No white boy from goddamn Ohio write this. You don't know no Algonquin. For when I come today in 2024, mind you, this is 3953 BC, he talking to Iwata. My people shall have many states just like yours, prophet of America. Why? Because you founded it. You made it. They just copying the old stuff. They don't even know. And their combination shall be called union, signifying one. Out of many, one. Opa ALGONQUINS. Build a model for him, O Iwata. For although when they come, they will overthrow your people on the earth. This is familiar. Was there Indian slavery? Was there patent land rights, head right system, chattel slavery being practiced? How did he know 6,000 years ago that this was going to happen? Build a model for them, O Iwata, for although when they come, when who come? When the Europeans come, they will overthrow your Indian people on the earth. But listen, the angels are your holy ones, Native Americans or Amerindian spirits, firm in adherence and obedience to the Great Spirit, shall come and purge us of these saviors, these gods, these lords, the fear, the mythos, and pull us from the pits, the God's spell. He said, I will purge them of their Jebus. I will purge them of their Brahma. I will purge them of their Allah and their Muhammad. I will purge them of their Christ and make them clean in my sight. He told you all this 6,000 years ago, and now you are dumping off religion left and right, and you didn't know why. You didn't know why Owashpi set right with you. You didn't know that your ancestors, indigenous American spirits who have been firm in the obedience of the Great Spirit, have come. Not that they're coming, have already come. You think it's first of all, 30 years ago, all y'all niggas thought y'all was Africans. Y'all was believing in roots, all that shit. Let's just be real. You think it's just out of nowhere, you just start calling yourself an Indian? And then you start calling yourself an Indian and being able to prove it. You think that was by mistake? No. That was from your ancestors coming back to purge you. That's because you special. You different. They not like us. You different. You have always praised the Great Spirit. And your ancestors didn't forget about you. They came to purge you and clean you in the sight of the Great Spirit. Then Iwata what? Iwata, 3953 BC, made the nations. Not white boys in 1776 writing on a piece of paper. Iwata made it. 6,000 years ago, you got your U.S. already, your United States already. Don't give these people that much credit. They copied it from your little brothers. Iwata taught the Algonquins. The Algonquins taught their little brothers, the Iroquois. The Iroquois turned around and taught the colonizer. And don't get stuck in skin color when I say European, because the very first people to come over here and indoctrinate us and get close to us, the reason they did it and could do it was because they was brown just like you. The biggest traitors in our hoods, the biggest infiltrators, the biggest rats have always looked like you. This is why you let them in. Yeah, all skin folk ain't kin folk. What makes you my folk is, are you good? Did you choose the Creator? That makes you the chosen. That makes you my brother. Other than that, just is what it is. At that point, not even supposed to worry about you. You'll come into it on your own, or maybe you won't. But I got work to do here. I'm just supposed to sit, spread the seed. Creator gives all the advance. It's about whether you want it or not. You didn't know that the United States was 6,000 years old as a nation. You thought it was created in 1776 AD. No, it was created in 3953 BC. And the whole nation was called Algonquin or ALGONQUINS. What did he call the one mighty people from these 40 combined nations? So that means it is full of families that are full of clans, that are full of tribes that make a mighty nation. Then they take all these 40 mighty nations and they put them together, and that is called the United States of Algonquin, USA. This is why you love this country so much. This is why you don't have an inkling to leave. You have been here since time immemorial. Then Guatama made the nations, united them into one mighty people, and called them the nations of Opa ALGONQUINS. And they planted the country over with cornfields. So we can't mistake these as no African people or some people coming from Asia trying to act like, or the Southeast Islands trying to act like you were Indian. Now, I'm not saying today you may have some of that genetics in you, but 6,000 years ago you didn't. Before 1492, you didn't. And the worship of the Great Spirit sets you apart. There is much more that the Great Spirit culture of the Guatamans contributes to the formation of Cosmon man. Y'all been seeing all this mutant stuff and witches, warlocks, all that stuff. Yeah. The ability to fly, time travel, what did you call that when you remote view, right? These are just skills that the man of this era, Cosmon, which means balance, right, will attain to. They've been showing you it in movies and whatnot. That's a real thing. There is much more that the Great Spirit culture of the Guatamans contributes to the formation of the Cosmon man, which can also be read about in Owaspy. We shall later pick up one example from the Hopi nation as indicative of the roots of the Guatamans as being faithists and carried forth from that time. But first, our question is this. Since the Ions and the Gon faithists of Ham, Shem, and Japhet were commanded to not kill, and therefore were non-resistant and herbivorous, what then of the faithists of Guatama, the Native Americans, the Aboriginal Americans, the Amerindians, right? What happened to them? Now, you know what this reminds me of? I'll be quick. Doing my studies on Islam, right? One of the Islamic generals and learned men said that the reason why we enslave Africans is because they don't fight back. So to know that primarily that they were commanded not to kill and therefore were non-resistant and herbivorous, that makes sense now that wow, Islam could go in there and enslave a people for 1,000 years. I want you to know, let's keep reading. Although being worshipers of the Great Spirit, they continued, the American continued to eat the flesh of animals and many tribes did not practice non-resistance. What I'm telling you is, from 1492 to today, you have never, ever, ever, ever stopped fighting. Huh? They didn't even, they even played us against each other in the end. They was fighting, let's say like the French and Indian War, or the French and British War. Who was actually fighting in the field? It was us. Wasn't even enough of them to fight. They recruited us, played us both against the middle. Then an earthquake came in 1811. They attacked us in 1812. That starts Indian removal. It's a scheme. It's a plot. Look up the New Madrid earthquake, 1811. Mind you, I want y'all to understand this. This earthquake started in December and it lasted 6-7 months. I mean, I'm talking about 7s, 8s on a Richter scale. Back to back to back to back for months. It was so bad. The New Madrid was so bad, it literally turned the Mississippi backwards. You know how the Mississippi flow from Lake Michigan down into the Gulf, right? The earthquake was so bad, it flipped the water. And now it started going the other way. Imagine the people who had to evacuate just the southern basin region, southeast Americas, anything along the Mississippi, anything in a valley region. It was just rattled. I'm sure whole civilizations just liquidized under an 8. It just shook that stuff, shook it to death. But because you ate meat, you was never no punk. Didn't nobody come over here and enforce nothing. Right? As a matter of fact, they was real nice when they came over here. So nice that they married your daughter, Big Chief. Many of these chiefs, like Tammany, were then turned around and killed by his own so-called people, the mixed breeds. And these are the people in 1865, 1866, 1867 who are signing treaties in the name of the chiefs because they are now sons of the chief who came over, they half European and whatnot. But these are black Europeans too, not just white ones. Yeah. They sold you out. They became you first. They wasn't trying to fight you. Had sons and daughters with you. Right? Young guy said, called them an invasive species. Here's what it is. We should remember that although they were worshipers of the Great Spirit, many of them hunted and killed animals for food. So you had that fighter in you. You had that killer in you. I'm telling you, if you go back and look in your genealogy, I'm guaranteeing this. You're going to find people from the American Revolutionary War, the War 1812, the Mexican-American War, American Civil War, World War I, World War II. You're going to find people who fought in every war in your family. Every war. We wasn't never punks. We wasn't never scared. We was just trying to do what was the best was for us and our families. Sometimes, because of who we were listening to, we got one side played against the other, against the middle. You ain't never laid down. Clothing and shelter, and today many continue to eat meat as their ancestors did. Recall that the Ayans were those who were capable of heeding the Creator's angels, and they were the example to the ALGONQUINS, the Anguican, the Indians, me and you, right up until some 3,000 years ago when they went extinct, so-called. I challenge that. But the ALGONQUINS, right? The modern leaning Ahuin, or the modern Negro. This is what Gan means, modern man. Ahuin means copper colored large Negroidal. So the modern Negro, being of lower grade than the Ions and being more distant from Jehovah, were mostly flesh eaters. This is why y'all will barbecue up some mess. And notice, even with the meat, you were still the most high-raised people in the world. Not all y'all wasn't. But this is where our gang culture comes from. I want y'all to know y'all been doing this forever. You got a whole coast of nothing but warriors. Cali not playing with y'all. West Coast not playing. Chi-Town not playing. Detroit has never played with y'all. But we got warrior cultures, especially in Texas ain't playing with y'all. We got whole warrior cultures of men who just go. In the late 60s, 70s, at the beginning of what is called gang culture and hip hop, they are hand in hand. Hip hop is how you run a gang, right? Gangs ain't nothing but brotherhoods. If you give them the right purpose and focus, they will be no different than a police, than an army that protects its people. Huh? They are warriors without a cause. But this is why you're a warrior. Being a flesh eater and being in a warlike culture breeds it. But look also what it says. This is not to say that they did not have a wonderful variety of vegetable foods, which they collected and cultivated with many tribes foregoing the hunt, relying on their vegetable, fruit, and grain staples. Obviously, these are different types of people. You got a warrior group. You got a people who just plainly vegetarians, who not mourn. But those modern Negro types, which the word is Indian, the Anguican, right? Who followed the teaching and practices of the mound builder, the Ion, who strive to maintain a vegetarian diet, dodge the hijack on the vegan, a vegetarian diet did exist. There have been faiths since the beginning of time. And we know this because Owaspy reveals it, not only because Owaspy reveals it, but also we have evidence in the variety, quality, and quantity of vegetable foods that is the heritage of the Americans, as well as some of the ceremonies of existing Guatamians, such as the corn ceremonies. We should also keep in mind that in pre-Columbian times and before the influence of the false god Christ, aka Luamong's emissary angels, whose goal was to convert or destroy the American, the tribal culture among the Americans was not as narrow as many modern depictions would portray. The Guatamans revered their peacemakers. Iwata, right, was remembered among them as the what? The great peacemaker from thousands of years before. Who spoke to the great peacemaker? Hiawatha. Hiawatha was of the who? The Iroquois. Iwata was Algonquin. Thousands of years before. And yet, still, the Haudenosaunee, the Iroquois, came under the peace agreement through Iwata. They didn't have this. They was one of them meat-eating warrior crews. As a matter of fact, the Iroquois are the Romans of the Americas. Same style, same dress, same clothes, same style of war, same way to construct a home. Yeah, square barricades instead of round ones. Shout out to the Haudenosaunee. Right? Let's get down to this. Right? The great peacemaker is remembered in the Algonquin story of making of the Six Nations. Remember, Hiawatha didn't make peace. Hiawatha had to go to the great peacemaker to make peace. The great peacemaker is Iwata. And the common sign languages, listen, common sign languages and the great network of trade evident by the far and wide dispersion of trade goods bespeak a long history of order and peace among the many tribes and nations. All right? I'm not even going to bear down on y'all heavy. I want to ask y'all one question. Do y'all know what this American Sign Language, right, that was used as a pidgin language, as a trade language between the groups or the tribes in America? Does anybody know what that's called? What is the trade language? For instance, let's say a Michilimackinac way up in northern Michigan who has copper does a deal with the Timacoos, right, who are way down in northern Florida, and they got, let's say, wheat, right? We trading copper for wheat, right? Or, you know, they would have spoke different dialects, different tongues, right? One was more Muskogee, the other one was Algonquin based, both Algonquin based, but one was speaking like the Anishinaabe, and one would have spoke like the Timacoa, which is like a Siouan Muskogee mix, right? How did they do business if they spoke different languages? Huh? They had a common sign language. Guess what that common sign language is called, y'all? Guess what that common sign language is called, y'all? It's called English. Boom. English is the pidgin trade language of the American Indian. Think about this. It's everywhere around the world. So the English or the European didn't come over here and teach us English. We taught them. As a matter of fact, ask yourself, what language were they using that they came over here and was able to interact and speak with the Indians with? Sign language. What I'm telling you is our American Sign Language has always been and will always be called English. As a matter of fact, it don't matter if a Russian is signing to another Russian. In his mind, the sign is decrypted or deciphered in English. You ever wonder why? How do these people always speak our language? Everybody in the world speaks English. We don't learn nobody else's language. Not for the most part. They learn ours. Why? Because we are the people of, we are the learned people. Just like anciently Phoenician was the language of the learned, today, English is the language of the learned. We were so far ahead of them when they came into contact, it made more sense to just take what we had and learn it than to try to teach what they was teaching to the rest of the world, which wouldn't work. But now everybody speaks English. Everybody. If a Chinese man sign into a Chinese man, when the sign is deciphered in his head, it is read in English. From English, he changes the word to Chinese. Let that sink in. Ask yourself, if Wu-Tang is on a stage in China or Japan somewhere, and they're singing, right? They're singing in American English. How is she signing to these people that they can understand the raps in English, but in Chinese? They don't. It's all deciphered in English. Because if you spit the words back in Chinese to what the raps is, not only does it's not sounding the same, the words in Chinese don't rhyme. The sounds, the phonetics don't rhyme. It's a whole different language. American Sign Language, the pidgin tongue, is English. Yeah. You taught them English, not the other way around. I ain't gonna browbeat y'all. I'm gonna come back with some more lessons on this, and we're gonna get back off into this worshipers of the Great Spirit in Guatama. You dig what I'm talking about? I want to shoot a big love, light, and balance out there to the Creator game, man. To some, I know the movement may seem like it's slow, but this is organic growth. You dig what I'm talking about? This is constitutional growth, right? And for those who know, they know what's coming. Yes, sir. Soon as you taught it to him, listen, the very first man came over here in 1549 from Italy. His son was deaf. Skipping my mind right now. He had a deaf son, and over in Europe, they were labeling the deaf and the people who couldn't speak mute people. They were labeling them as idiots and imbeciles and saying that they couldn't learn. The brother came here to the America, learned American Sign Language from the Indians, took it back to English and to France, and created what we know today as European Sign Language, or Sign Language, period, and created the very first school of the deaf. You dig what I'm talking about? In mute in France. But he learned that from the ALGONQUINS here in America. So yes, the lingua franca. This is how a Mayan did a deal with an Illini. This is how a Californian did a deal, or the Uchi did a deal with the Stono. Even though they spoke different tongues, they were able to speak, because everywhere in the world, if you throw the peace sign up, right, and you turn it upside down, right, throw the peace sign up, then turn it upside down, and you move your finger side to side, everywhere in the world, that's walk. If you take your hand out and hold it palm down flat, and then you do the wave with your hand, everywhere in the world, that's water. That's American Sign Language. got something up out of this, man. Let me see if I can get this thing going real quick. You know, I like the Creative Gang anthem, but I like Guided by a Waspy too, man. I want y'all to just, hey, first of all, support the channel. You dig what I'm talking about? Cosmo and Cal 1. You dig what I'm talking about? Support the channel. Love, light, balance. You dig what I'm saying? And y'all just be good to each other, man. Try to eat some extra fruit. Be good to each other. You know, and do something good for somebody else. That's all you got to do. It's the whole plan. You dig what I'm saying? When that becomes constitutional for you, you have raised your grade. It's that simple, y'all. Right? That being said, I'm going to go ahead and leave y'all with this real quick. Right? But let me see. Before I go, man, I just want y'all to breathe in. Let that light in. Because I'm Cosmon and I'm out. Hey, y'all heard the Creative Gang anthem, man, but I like this joint right here, though, too. This is hard right here. Let's go. Peace, love, and light to y'all.
Transforming my soul, planting a seed, embracing the wisdom of the ancient text. In every chapter, feeling blessed. The truth it unveils, the secrets it holds, connecting me to the universe's modes. Living in harmony, in peace and love, enlightened, shining from above. Oh, I spit, guiding me on. In the stillness of my soul, a new dawn. Embracing the light, letting go of the dark. And every moment, creating my mark. Through trials and tribulations, I stand tall. Watch these teachings, breaking every wall. My spirit soaring, my heart at peace. In the wisdom of a waspy, finding release. Aligned with the cosmos in perfect flow, living by its principles, letting my light glow. Harmony and love, the essence of my being. Oh, I spit, guiding me on. In the stillness of my soul, a new dawn. Embracing the light, letting go of the dark. In every moment, creating my mark. Oh, I spit, guiding me on. In the stillness of my soul, a new dawn. Embracing the light, letting go of the dark. In every moment, creating my mark. Oh, I spit, guiding me on. In the stillness of my soul, a new dawn. A new dawn. Embracing the light, letting go of the dark. Oh, the dark. In every moment, creating my mark. Letting my mark. Oh, I spit, guiding me on. I spit, guiding me on. Oh. as I walk on this path of life, guided by the wasp insight. Every word, every line, every page I